in Wrexham, in Wales, in Britain, in the world. You have to prepare yourself to be one imam, one muazzin, one chairman, the rest trustees. Yeah? Yes, you are president, don't worry. Now, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. You know, the next few weeks will be the Christmas time. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, you as a Muslim pupil, a Muslim person, a Muslim man, Muslim woman, what you should do during the Christmas time as a Muslim, what you can do and what you can't do. So we have to ask your eldest brother Al-Hussein. Here, look at him. He is very peaceful. Don't look at his face. He's very peaceful. Yeah. He will tell you what is legible or halal or reasonable or action we do during the school, because he just finished, for example, year 7, 8, 9, and he knew about the schools, because if I start talking about this, I never ever studied in any private school here or secondary school or sixth form. I came here straight away to the university. So because he knew or he knows the system of this country, he's going to talk to you what you can do in Christmas as a Muslim person and what you can't do and accept during the Christmas as a Muslim person. Your brother Hussein, inshallah, will try to teach you this lesson, to teach himself, teach me, teach your fathers, teach us, because we need to learn about our religion. Is that right?
Yes.
Good. Now, after he finished, within 1 hour, inshallah, after that he's going to open section of Q&A, question and answer. If you want to ask any question, you have asked. Don't be shy. Are you okay? Don't be. I didn't hear you. Don't be. I didn't hear you. Don't be. MashaAllah. When Yahya? Oh, Ahmed Yahya. Look, MashaAllah. When Adam? Where is Yusuf? Yeah, Yusuf. Hamza. MashaAllah, MashaAllah here. Oh, 2 boys over there. Nidal, come here. Sit down here. When you're free, sit down here. Yalla, Bismillah ar-Rahim. After you finish? يا نضال هو يا نضال هو جري ولا كبو يضرباو اللي كب انت ضرب العلمين حتى
ما قاعدين بخشيش
يا سيدي بارك الله فيك. Now I'll give you a very good news. Yeah, who send me suggestion about this lecture? Wait a minute, stand up. You go back, please. No. Stay here. Who asked me a question by telephone? Somebody phoned me and asked me about what should I do in Christmas, and they suggest to talk about this Christmas is your sister's Sira here. Is that right, Sira? You asked me by telephone? You understand? She will get the reward of all of us, inshallah. You will sit by your sister's room? By girls? Yeah. Hello. شوي هناك شوي ابعد من الباب. Keep away from the door. يلا بسم الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم ربنا واجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وأرنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم ربنا وابعث فيهم رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم ومن يرغب عن ملة إبراهيم إلا من سفه نفسه ولقد اصطفيناه في الدنيا وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين إذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إلها واحدا ونحن له مسلمون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وقائدنا ومعلمنا محمد عبد الله ورسوله. My dear brothers and my dear sisters in Islam, I want to ask everyone here a question. It's a very important question. And I want everyone to answer honestly, inshallah. If I were to tell you all now that there is a book, in this book is the answer to every single problem, it's the solution to every single issue, and it's our guide for life, what would you do? You follow. What's your name, sorry? Abdul Mu'ti. Okay, and how old are you, sorry?
12.
12, year 7? How old are you?
12.
Year 7 as well?
No,
8? How old are you?
8.
Year 3 or year 2? Year 4. How old are you?
7.
7. Okay. Year 2. How old are you?
6.
6. Year 1.
No. 6. 2.
2. How old are you?
7.
7. Year 2. Year 1. How old are you?
7.
Year 2.
Year 3.
How are you?
9.
Year 5. You?
7.
Year 3. 9.
No. 8.
Before your age?
8.
8, okay. How are you?
7.
7. So average, everyone's year 4, year 5. Average. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is an open interaction. So this is an open discussion. So I'm going to ask you questions. You can answer. But I want everyone's participation, please. So, yes?
When you was reciting that, you actually had a nice reciting voice, and you had a nice voice when you was doing that, and then I was like, mashallah, he has a nice voice.
Thank you very
And
much.
then I was just sitting there silent.
Thank you very much. Inshallah, did you do better? Say inshallah. So ask the question again, inshallah. If I were to tell you all that there is a book, in this book, it's how you live your life exactly to the letter. Every single thing in this book, it's there for us. If you just follow this book, everything will go well. How would you respond? Someone shout themselves. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
I would follow the book.
You would follow the book. What about you?
I don't know.
Sorry?
I don't know.
You don't know. So if there was a book in which every single issue, every single problem is a solution for it, and if we just follow this book, we'll get the best of this life. What would you do? Follow. What would you do if I told you that this book actually existed?
I would just steal it.
Buy it. So everyone's saying you buy it. Someone said that they'll steal it. No, who said that? Someone there. Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay. This book actually does exist.
Oh.
You know what it's called?
Quran.
It's called the Quran, yes. So you don't have to steal it. It's over there, it's over there. And it's, I think there's one there.
And there's billions.
Yeah. There's loads of copies of this book. So you don't have to go out and you don't have to buy it. Okay?
Zillions.
But what do you have to do? It's given to us for free. What do you have to do? You have to do one thing. What is it?
Read it.
Read it. And what else? What's more important than reading it?
Following it.
Following it. Very good. So in this book, there are stories, and I'm going to tell you one story today. Obviously, we're going to talk about Christmas and Jesus, but before we speak about any of this, there is something important that I have to say. There's an important story. It's nothing to do with Christmas, nothing to do with Jesus, but I'll mention it because it's important. In the Quran, there is a story of a man. His name is Idris. What's his name? Idris. He was a prophet of Allah. He was a prophet, meaning he was sent to teach people or to tell people to follow what Allah sent. What did Allah send us? The Quran, yes. So this man Idris, he was sent to teach the people his book. And he had 5 people who would help him. And these 5 people's, their names in the Quran. Their names are Wad, Suwa, Yaghuf, Ya'uq, and Nasr. You don't have to know those names. I'm just telling you about these 5 people. So these 5 people, they would help Prophet Idris in his journey, in his job. What was his job?
Teach people the Quran.
Not the Quran, but their version of the Quran. Because don't forget, the Quran is just what the Prophet Muhammad told us. Yeah? 6 people doing it, yes, but the one person, those 5 other people, they were just as helpers. They weren't prophets. Only Idris was the prophet. Allah only sent Idris. So basically, so then later on, because of the fact that everyone at that time was a Muslim, everyone worshipped Allah, but there were people who were doing very bad things. They were stealing, they were doing this, they were doing that. So all Idris, his job was just to teach people how to worship, how to be a good person. That's all he did. And then Idris died. But nobody knew that he died. Because he died in Jannah. He went to Jannah, and on the way to Jannah he died, basically. So basically, these 5 people, they were left. And then they were teaching the people the book. So then some people listened to these 5 people, and you know what these people did? The shaitan came to the people who listened to these 5, because don't forget, you have these 5 people, okay, let's say up to, what's your name? Nazif. Okay, up to Nazif. Let's say these 5 people are the people that we're talking about. The rest, you will listen to him, okay? Now these people here, the shaitan came to them and said, how about, because these people are going to die soon, how about we should maybe draw a painting of these 5 people, of you 5. So the shaitan came to you and said, let's draw paintings of them, so that even after they die, we can remember their lessons that they taught us. So they said, these people, not you exactly, for example. So then, you people said, okay, that's a good idea. So these 5, the 5 people who helped Idris, they died. You were the people who were remaining. So then, you people had children, the next generation. And then so Shaitan came to the next generation and he said, how about, whenever you see the painting, you just to remember the lessons that these 5 people taught you, how about you just move your head down? Nothing bad, just out of respect. And so that you can remember these lessons. So the Shaitan came to the next generation, your children, and your children said, yeah, that's a good idea, we should do that. Whenever we see these paintings, we should, just out of respect, just bow, like you bow your head like that, say, okay, we'll listen to you. So that's what they did. But then the Shaitan, he also came to the generation after that, their children, and he said, these paintings, they're gonna go soon. How about you get, how about you get statues, make statues of these 5 people, the original 5 people, and whenever you see these statues, you will start listening to what the 5 people said, the lessons that they used to teach you. That's what the logic was. So the Shaitan came to them, and they said, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll start making these big statues, but then don't forget, the next generation came after them, they didn't know what the statues were made for. And they see their fathers bow their head like this. They see their fathers bow their head like this. And like this, and like this. And constantly being respect. So what? Yes?
Did Shaitan do the right thing?
No. I'll tell you why. The Shaitan, who is the Shaitan? Yes?
The devil.
He is the devil. He has one job in his whole life, and that's to make sure that we all end up doing bad things. But how can we avoid doing bad things?
Listen to the right thing.
Listen to the right things. What's the right thing to listen to? The Quran, yes. So anyway, back to the point. So the people, they see these 5 statues of these 5 amazing people. And then they see their fathers bow, and they said, let us bow as well. And then that carried on until the Shaitan said, see how your fathers used to worship these statues? If your fathers, you've seen them bow to the statues out of worship. So that's your new gods, you worship them. And then these 5 statues with these 5 names came. And then later on, generations later, there was another prophet called Nuh alayhi salam. Does anyone know who Nuh is?
Yeah.
Nuh. So Nuh is a different prophet. And then when Nuh came and he seen these statues. And then he told the people that these 5 people were, all of them, he said, these are not your gods. Your God is only Allah. But the people did not listen to Nuh. So what lesson do we learn from here? The lesson. Yeah? Don't listen to the wrong things. What else do we learn?
So after that, in Noah, then they get flood.
Yeah, they got a flood, yes. That is what happened.
That's the punishment. Don't worship the statues.
Don't worship the statues. Well, the lesson that we learn, and why did I mention the story? I mentioned the story because this is exactly what happened with Christmas. The same thing. People, seeing their fathers doing something? You've seen their fathers doing something? Do you see how the shaitan, how he changes the story a little bit? It used to be 5 people who listened to them, and then their children did this, and then their grandchildren did that, and then their great-grandchildren did that. Do you see what the shaitan does? This is exactly what he did with Christmas. At first, there was a prophet, and we'll go into the life of Jesus, but at first, there was Jesus, and then after he died, the shaitan said to the people who followed Jesus, do this, and then the next generation do this, slowly, it's the Christmas tree comes up, and then it's December 25th, and then it's Christmas Day. Do you see what I mean? Do you understand? See what the shaitan did with those 5 people, and see how they ended up worshipping those 5 people without even knowing it. This is exactly what the shaitan did with Christmas. At first, who is Jesus?
Isa.
Yes, but who was he? No, yeah, he was Isa, but what did he do? Prophets, yes. What else was he?
Messenger.
Messenger. Was he anything more than that?
Was he a god for the Christians?
I can't answer that question.
Like,
For them, yes, but he's not a god. He's
like someone that the Christians like learn from him.
not the Christians learn from them, everyone learns from them. So does that make sense? You see how people will start listening to the story of Christmas, and people will start doing all these things, people will start putting up Christmas trees and doing this and doing that, and they don't even know where it came from, and they don't know anything about it, and they're just doing it because they've seen their fathers doing it, and their fathers doing it because they've seen their grandfathers doing it. This is the same thing that happened with Idris and those 5 great people and Nuh alayhi salam. Slowly it changes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If it doesn't, who doesn't understand what I mean? Do you understand? Alhamdulillah, that's good. So anyway, now we're going to go on to the story of Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. One of the greatest prophets and the greatest messengers ever. So, the story starts with a bunch of people called Bani Israel. What are they called? Bani Israel. So these people, Bani Israel, Allah sent loads of messengers, loads of prophets to them. So,
How many?
how many? I don't know how many. A lot of them aren't mentioned in the Quran.
Billions and billions.
No, not billions. A lot, but not billions. So anyway, so these people, Bani Israel, they were Muslims. Well, yeah, like they were Muslims, but Allah sent them loads of prophets and loads of messengers because of what? Because they weren't listening to the messengers. Sometimes they even killed the prophets. So there was a person from Bani Israel called Imran. Not Sheikh Imran. Not Sheikh Imran, but there was a person called Imran. No, not Isha. So there's a person called Imran, okay? He was from this people. What were the people called again? So this person, Imran, he wasn't a prophet, but he was a very, very good person. Okay? And he got married to a woman. And this woman who he married, this woman's sister, married a person called Zakaria. What's his name? Zakaria, yes. And Zakaria was a prophet. So, just so you understand, Imran married a woman. That woman had a sister who was married to Zakaria. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If it doesn't make sense, okay, just tell me so I can understand. I can make it understand. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, both Imran and his wife, and Zakaria and his wife, they were both trying to get children. But then it was very difficult. So Imran's wife made dua to Allah and said, "Oh Allah, please give me a child." But don't forget, Imran and his wife, they were old in age. They were very old. Because the fact that they've been alive for a long time and they still had no children. So then Imran said to, Imran's wife said to Allah, "Please allow me to have a child, and with this child, I will dedicate it completely to you." Meaning, this child, wherever it comes, is going to be completely for Allah. So the whole life is going to be spent worshipping Allah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, by a miracle, Imran's wife was pregnant. So,
Is it Mary?
yes, but I'm getting there. So eventually, they had a child, and this child was called Maryam. Well, what was the child called?
Mary. Which in English it's Mary.
Which in English is Mary, that's correct. So, so then the reaction of Imran and his wife, they were surprised. They were very surprised. They said, a girl. Because, I'll tell you why. Because Maryam's mum made the dua to Allah saying, remember, what was the dua of the mum of Maryam?
It's just for Allah.
Just for Allah. And then at that time, during that time, there was not many things that women could do. Men or women, it's not like today. There's not many things that women can do. So when this girl came, the first thing she said was, she was confused. She said, why would that happen when, it's meant to be because men, they can fight for Allah, they can do loads of things for Allah, they can be leaders, they can help people. There's not many things that a woman can do. If that makes sense. So she was confused. But she said, this is the will of Allah. So at a young age, and then Imran, who's Imran?
Someone's wife, was it? Husband to Mary.
No husband to Mary. Try again.
That's Joseph. Mary and Maryam's dad.
Maryam's dad, yes, that's right. So Imran was the father of Mary. And Imran died. So then, don't forget the mother of Mary said, now we need to have a place. Now we need to, we need to try and do something to the child. Because remember what we said to Allah? What was their promise to Allah?
That it's just for Allah.
Just for Allah. Only going to be dedicated to Allah. So, she went to the temple, which is like their mosque. She went to their version of the mosque, and she said, there you go, this is a child, Mary, it's only and completely for Allah. So look after her, keep her in the mosque or the temple. So then, the people...
Church?
Sorry?
Is it a church?
No, there's no church this time. This is before Christianity. Before Christianity. Anyone dying or? Okay. So back to the point. So then, when the temple took Maryam in, they said, who's going to look after Maryam? Because the woman, they had a private section in the temple. So then they said, who's going to look after Maryam? So then they played the game. Because everyone wants to look after Maryam. You know what? You know why everyone wanted to look after Maryam? Because they like Imran. Who's Imran again?
Maryam's dad.
Yes. Because of the fact that they all loved Imran a lot, they said, I want to be the one to have the honor, the job, the title of looking after Imran's daughter. So then Zakaria said, I'm Imran's uncle. So I want to look after Imran. So they all played the game. The game was that they get pens, like a specific type of pens, and then they throw the pen in the river. And then the last pen that goes down, the last pen that you can see, because don't forget these pens have names on it, it's like got names on it. Then the last pen that goes down, whoever's name will look after it. So they played this game, and they threw the pens in the river, and can anyone guess who was the last pen to go down? Zakaria, yes. Sorry, I didn't see that. So Zakaria's name was the last one to go down. So who's going to look after Maryam now? Zakaria, very good. So, as Maryam, who's Maryam again?
Mary.
Who's Maryam's dad?
Imran.
Imran, yes. Not Sheikh Imran, but different Imran. He's over there. So anyway, so now who's in charge of looking after Maryam now? Zakaria, yes, very good. So, Maryam, she decided, she started to grow up, and she became a very, very good Muslim. She was a very, everyone knew who she was, because everyone knows her dad. Her dad's a good person, her mom's a good person, the whole family are good people. So everyone knew Maryam as a good person. And then, all of a sudden, Maryam, she was actually blessed by Allah on many times. Because, who was looking after her again?
Zakaria.
Zakaria. Don't put your hand up, just shout Hamza. Sorry. Anyway, so Maryam was the one, so sometimes Zakaria, he would walk in on Maryam and he would find fruits that aren't meant to grow. Because don't forget, it's not like now we can go into Aldi, it's not like now when you can go into Aldi, you can buy fruits. At this time, there's some fruits that grow in the summer and some fruits that grow in the winter. Does that make sense? So whenever Zakaria would walk in on Maryam in the summer, he would find fruits from the winter. And whenever Zakaria would walk into Maryam in the winter, he would find fruits from the summer.
So Maryam was like growing fruits, but that's the complete opposite.
Yes, it's the complete opposite. Now to answer your question, she wasn't growing the fruits. You can't grow the fruits because the fruits can only grow in a certain time, in a certain place. Maryam wasn't doing that. Allah would give her the fruits. Allah would bless her by giving her the fruits. So we know now that she is a blessed person.
So Allah planted it.
We don't know how it happened, we just know it happened. And how do you know that this happened? From Allah. But how did Allah tell us? In the Quran. Very good. So, back to the story now. Don't forget what Maryam's uncle called? Zakaria. And remember Zakaria and his wife, how they were trying to get a child? Allah blessed them with a child. Does anyone, sorry?
Wasn't it Imran and his wife?
Yeah, it was Imran's wife, but also Zakaria and his wife as well. Both of them. So eventually, Zakaria and his wife got a child. Does anyone know what the child's called?
Mary.
No, that's Allah. Not Isa. Anyone guess? Yahya. Yes. Who's Yahya?
This is Yahya.
You're Yahya. Is your dad called Zakaria?
No.
Sure.
It's not.
Because he's not look sure. So your dad's not called Zakaria. Okay, anyway, back to the story. So who was Imran's daughter again? Yeah. Who was Zakaria's daughter again? Yahya, yes. So,
Not daughter, son.
Sorry. Obviously. Anyway, so Yahya, so then don't forget that Zakaria was a prophet. And Yahya, he also became a prophet. Alayhi salatu wasalam. So then, Maryam, don't forget, where was Maryam at this point? Yes. Yeah, that's right. So she was in what we call a mosque, but at that time it wasn't called a mosque. So she was in this place and she had a private room. And who was looking after her again? Zakaria. So eventually, Maryam, she used to, she had a, basically, so an angel came to Maryam. An angel came to Maryam in the form of a man, a human being.
The Annunciation.
Sorry?
The Christians call it the Annunciation.
To be honest, I don't know what that word means, so I can't. But anyway, so the angel came to Maryam in the form of a man, and the angel told Maryam what? He said, Maryam, you are going to have a child.
And it was Isa.
Yes, it was Isa. So, the first thing that Maryam said was, how can I have a child when I'm not married? Don't forget, Maryam, she didn't get married. So then, eventually, so then the angel told Maryam, don't worry about anything, Allah's going to sort it all out for you. Don't worry, okay? Yeah, like that. So eventually, Maryam, she went to a hill, a safe hill, and then she had the child. The child was called what? Isa, yes, that's right. So Isa is what in English? What is in English? Jesus. So who was Jesus' dad?
Zachary.
No.
Maryam.
Jesus' dad was called Maryam.
Joseph.
Was called Joseph.
No.
Is He didn't have a dad. That's right. I asked this on purpose. Jesus' dad is not called Joseph.
That's a trick question.
Trick question, yes. So what was Jesus' dad called?
Nobody.
No, his name wasn't nobody.
It's a trick question. Trick.
Yes.
I'm not tricking them.
Okay, I'll stop tricking.
Trick question.
Yeah. So Jesus, he had no dad, remember? So then when Maryam had Jesus, the baby called Jesus, okay, the moment she had it, she said, how am I going to tell people that I had a child when I'm not married? And then, so the angel came to her and said, don't worry, Allah's going to help you. So then the angel told her to shake the palm. Does everyone know what a palm tree is?
Yeah.
Palm tree. So the angel told her, it's like it's a tree basically. It's a tree, yeah. Coconuts? I don't know about okay. So anyway, so what happened was, so she shook the tree, and you know what came out? Yes, what she said. What did you say? Yeah, dates came off the tree. And this is a miracle from Allah as well. So Allah gave her the dates gave her the blessing of dates. So she had the dates, and then she went back to the people, and she said, look, I had a child. So what did the people say to her? What do you think they said to her?
How do you have a child?
How do you have a child? That's the first thing they said. How do you have a child? And then do you know what Maryam said? Said, ask the child. Yeah.
Baby should know.
Yeah. So Maryam said, ask the child. Ask the child there. Don't forget the child's in it's in a cradle.
Angel.
Not manger, but cradle. So the baby's in a cradle. And Maryam says, ask the child. So what do you think the people said?
Why wouldn't the child speak?
Why would you ask the child? The child don't speak.
I need the baby.
Ask the baby. It's a baby. And Maryam said, ask the baby. You know what happened next?
They asked him.
Yeah, they asked the baby. So they asked the baby, how did your man have a child? You know what the baby did? It said, I am a slave of Allah. The baby spoke. Said, I am a slave of Allah. Allah gave me a book. Or He will give me a book. And He made me a prophet. This is in the Quran. This is the actual story in the Quran.
So that's all.
Hmm?
So that's all.
Maryam, Surah Maryam. So it says, إني عبد الله, I'm a slave of Allah, آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا. He made me a prophet. وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت, and He made me blessed wherever I am. وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا. And He made me give, He made me pray and give zakat wherever I am. وبرا بوالدتي. And He made me good to who? My parents. Who was the parent? Maryam. And what was his dad called again?
It's a trick question.
Yes, very good.
I said, stop tricking us. It's a trick question.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay,
I
so
still like it.
okay, I'll ask you a question again. What was Zachariah's son called?
Yeah.
What was Zachariah's son called? No, I'm asking him. Yeah. That's correct. So he said, so then, what did Jesus say when they said ask the child? What did Jesus reply?
I'm a slave of Allah.
I'm a slave of Allah. What else? I'm a prophet of Allah. What else did he say?
He's gonna get a book.
He's gonna get a book. What else did he say?
I don't know.
He made me a prophet. It's not me. I'm not saying me, I'm saying that's what Jesus said. Jesus,
First person.
he said that. And Allah will make him blessed wherever he is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I do get like he's running that and then that.
Okay, just let him go. It's okay. So anyway, so then the people, they got angry. They said, so some people believed it. There are some other people who were like the kings or the higher people. They got angry this happened. Because don't forget, what was the people called again? The people at the time?
Israel and
No, Beni Israel. Don't forget, where Beni Israel, most of them, were they all good people?
No.
No. a lot of them did bad things. So when they heard that a baby spoke, what do you think the first thing they said was?
How do you speak?
Not how, because none of them asked that how, and they said, I'm a messenger of Allah. They said, I'm a prophet of Allah. You know what they did? You know what they said, the higher ups? They said, oh, not again. Another prophet. Because don't forget, in the past, they've killed prophets. They've done bad things to prophets. So when this baby comes and says, I'm a prophet of God, what are they going to say?
Oh, no, I'm going to kill you.
Not again. And another one.
Not another one.
Not another one, yeah.
But there's still going to be another one. What's it, Muhammad?
Yeah, but that's later on.
Yeah.
So, does everyone understand why the people who were high up got angry?
Why? They've had enough of killing.
Not really, but they didn't like the prophets because the prophet told them that what they're doing is wrong. And they don't want that. They don't want people to say, what you're doing is wrong. They want people to say, yeah, you're doing right, carry on, you're a good person, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. Well, that's not what the prophets do. If you're doing good, the prophet says, mashallah, you're doing good. If you're not doing good, the prophet's going to say, no, that's not good, that's not right. So what did they do? So whenever they got enough of the prophets, they killed the prophets.
They guide them. They gently guide them.
Who guided who?
The messengers.
Yeah, so Allah sends the messengers and Allah sends the prophets. And then Jesus, this person, this child in a cradle, says, I am a messenger of Allah. The first thing they're going to say is what?
Not again.
Not again, yeah. Another one. So, yeah, so later on, Maryam, she got Jesus and then they had to move away. Why did they move away? Can anyone guess why they moved away?
They had enough.
Yes, who's that? What did you say? Yes, that's correct. Because people were going to try and kill them. So they had to move away. So then they moved away, and then Jesus began to grow up. We don't know a lot about Jesus' life when he was a child, but there is a story. There's a story that when Jesus was 12, there was a big occasion, like Eid. It's like Eid, but not exactly Eid. So an Eid happened there, and then they all went to the Eid. They all went to a big place for the Eid to happen.
Temple.
Like a temple. Like a festival. So they all went, and there was a lecture going on, like this one, and the lecture was for people who are older, people who are knowledgeable, people who knew a lot. And then from like scientists or scientists of religion, meaning they know a lot about Islam. So this is a very high lecture. And in this lecture, do you know who was there? Jesus. So imagine a big lecture full of very clever people, and then you see a child there.
Like imagine if that was
Yeah, imagine there's a lecture now, the whole front row is full of very clever people, like big clever people, like scientists and scholars and doctors and all this, and then it keeps going on. And then in it you see a child there, 12-year-old child. What's he doing there? And you know what he did? Jesus at his time when he was 12, he was asking questions to the, what's it called? He was asking questions to the guy who was giving the lecture. And the questions were so hard that the guy giving the lecture, he didn't even know how to answer them.
He didn't even know. So did he just give up and every single question he's like, I don't know.
I don't know, yeah. Because it's very hard questions. So then later on, Jesus, he started doing his work. And then, who was Jesus' cousin called? What was his cousin called? Yahya. Not you, sorry. No, because it's saying on to that, and I was talking to you.
Yes, later on, Yahya.
Yeah. What's your name, sorry?
Nazif.
Oh yeah, I see. Nazif. Yeah. So, So then Yahya and his dad, what was that called? Zakaria. So then later on, Yahya and Zakaria, what were they doing? They were saying, so they were telling people to worship Allah, stop doing bad things. And then there was a rule at the time, okay? There was a rule at the time that, fishing, does everyone know what fishing is?
Yeah. And what do you get? Fishing stick and you throw it in the water and you just wait till fish get there.
Yes. There was a rule not today, at that time there was a rule that you're not allowed to do fishing from Maghrib on Friday until Maghrib on Saturday.
Maghrib.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to do fishing then. You're meant to only worship Allah. But then some people at the time of Isa and Yahya, some of them broke the rule, but some of them tried to.
Like, do it. Like,
Some of them did it, but some of them made it harder than everyone else. There was some people who said, "Oh, you're not allowed to call a doctor if you're sick. If you're sick, you can't call a doctor." That's what they said. So then, no, that's what they said. It's not true. But that's what they said. So what did Yahya and Zakaria do? They told them to first of all, they told them Allah, and they reminded them of Allah's law. So what did Ben Israel do to Yahya and Zakaria?
break the rule.
Not try to kill them. They did kill them.
Break the rule.
Yeah. So what did the people of what were the people called again? What was their name?
That's already so.
Huh?
By Israel.
Ben Israel, yeah. So what did Ben Israel do to Yahya and Zakaria?
Try to kill them.
He killed them, yes. Yahya and Zakaria both died because of the fact that they were killed again. So then, and don't forget, at this time, loads of people were getting sick. At this time period, especially, the loads of people were getting sick. So then, when it comes to Isa, Allah gave him some miracles. Jesus, Allah gave him some miracles. For example, some of the miracles was that there was a person who had very bad skin disease. Very, very, very bad. You couldn't even see his whole face, it's like shrinkled.
Like freckles.
No, not freckles. Freckles is not skin disease. But if people have very bad skin disease, so what Jesus would do is that he, through the permission of Allah, he would cure the disease.
You'll heal them.
He would heal them, yes. But how did he heal them? Who helped them? Allah, and only Allah. He did not do this by himself. He did not do this anyone else. It was only Allah who helped him. So then what happens sometimes is that whenever somebody would die, and people would feel upset because somebody died, on the day that person died, Jesus would go to them, and through Allah's permission, he would bring them back from the dead.
He'll raise them back.
Raise them back. So this happened, I think 4 times. He raised them back on the same day that they died. So the people, some of them started to say, "Oh, you're a messenger, you're a prophet, you're right, we'll listen to you, we should listen to you." So that's why Allah did it. Allah allowed Jesus to do these things so that the people can listen to Jesus. Does that make sense? Make sense? So then, some of the people started to say, "Oh, he's just lying. He did it to the people who died on the day he died, because in fact, they didn't die. They just fainted or they went asleep." And Jesus saying, "Oh, look, I brought them up to death." So Jesus said, "Okay, let's go to a graveyard. Let's go to someone who's been dead for a long time, and I'll bring that person back through Allah's permission." So that's what they did. They went to the graveyard. They went to someone who's dead for a very long time. Because what did the people say when he brought someone back who died on the day he died?
Why can't he do Adam?
What can he do?
Why can't he bring back Adam? Where's Adam?
I don't know what he is.
They probably couldn't find his body.
Yeah, he'll be fine. And don't forget, it's not that Jesus did it by himself, it's that Allah did it.
Yeah,
Does that make sense? So I'll ask you a question. Why did the people tell Jesus to go to the graveyard to do it there?
because people have been dead. And they're still
And then what did they say to Jesus whenever he brought someone back on the day he died?
saying that they said that he was asleep and he just woke him up.
Does everyone understand that? Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, do you understand? Do you understand though? So everyone understand? Okay. So they went to this place, this graveyard, and then Jesus brought the person back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes?
Who was it?
I don't know who, but it was a person. A person who was dead for a long time. They brought him back to life.
How long was he dead?
I don't know. Yes?
A billion years. Wasn't he be a skeleton?
He would be a skeleton, but Allah can do anything.
So he brought his skin back.
Allah brought everything back.
Wait.
As if he just woke up from sleep. Allah brought him back like the day he died. Does that make sense?
So the same thing. Allah still remembers him.
Allah remembers everything. You know, before you were born, Allah knew that you were going to be born. Before your dad was born, Allah knew that you were going to be born.
Because Before the world was everything.
Yes. Anyway, back to the story. So, what did the people start to say? Some of them started to say, oh, he's lying, he's doing this. But some of them started to say, what? He's God. So what did Jesus say what did Jesus reply with? He said, I'm not God, I'm not Allah.
Maybe that's what it's upstairs.
Yeah, so Jesus said, no, I'm not Allah. I'm only doing this through the help of Allah. So then, I'll go through the last, not the last, another miracle of Jesus. At one time, Jesus, he went to a town, he went to a city. And the people in the city, they were very, very, very hungry, and there was no food. So, don't forget, a lot of these people in the city, they did not believe in Jesus. Even though they seen the dead person, even though they seen the person with the skin, even though they seen this, even though they seen that, they said, no, you're lying, you're this, you're that. So what did Allah do? So what did Jesus do? Jesus went to the city and there was no food. And then the people said to Jesus, can you ask Allah to bring us food? Can you ask Allah to bring us this? Something from Jannah. That's what they said. They said, Jesus, bring us some food from the sky. And then what did Allah say? Allah said, okay, I'll bring you food from the sky, but if you still disbelieve, there will be a punishment on you that no one has ever seen. It's so bad that no one's ever seen it. So the people said, okay, we'll accept. If you bring us food from the heavens and you still say no, then there will be a very big punishment on you. So you know what Allah did? Allah brought a table or a few rows of tables from the sky. The tables were full of food. And all the people, they believed after that. But don't forget, this is only in this town. There's still other towns where people do not believe in. So, as time went on, there was a few people who not only believed in Jesus, but they said that they will help Jesus.
Like disciples.
Yes, like disciples. So they were the helpers of Jesus. And then later on through his life, you know what the people tried to do to Jesus again? They tried to kill Jesus. So what did Allah do? Allah said, no, we're not going to kill Jesus. Allah made them think that they killed Jesus, but they did not kill Jesus. So Allah made the people who tried to kill Jesus think that they killed Jesus, but Allah saved Jesus. Allah brought him up to the heavens, and he's still there from the beginning until now.
So,
He's still there now.
like he was going back on Easter,
No, not Easter. He's not going to come back on Easter.
no, not this Easter, last Easter.
No, he didn't come back last Easter.
When Easter?
I don't know when he's going to come back, but he's not going to come back at Easter.
Wait, when is still alive?
Yes, he's still alive. So, when the people tried to kill Jesus, what did Allah do?
He saved him.
Saved him. How did Allah save him?
Power.
Do you want to ask someone to help you? Okay. Ask somebody to help you.
Allah made him go to heaven.
Yes. So how did Allah save Jesus?
Up to heaven.
You made a clone of him.
No.
The Quran does not say that. That's people's interpretation of the Quran. Whether that happened or not, we don't know. All the Quran says is that the people think, the people thought that they killed Jesus.
Forever.
So, yes. So people, all it says, clone, we don't know. That's just what all the Quran says is that people were made to think that he died. We don't know whether it was a clone, we don't know whether Allah changed someone's face, we don't know.
Or he just Allah just use his power to bring him back. Jesus can bring people back to life.
How can you do that?
Like you said that he can bring
Yeah, you can. How did you do it?
with Allah.
With Allah. Did you do it by yourself?
Yeah. No.
Can you do it by yourself? You sure?
Look.
Jesus. Can Jesus bring people back to life by himself?
No.
No. Who brings people back to life?
Allah.
Allah. Who else? No. Who else can bring people back to life?
Nobody.
Nobody. Another trick question. Alright, fair. Well,
What? You said not to do. How much trick questions do you have to do?
no.
No,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I like trick questions.
Like them? Fantastic. Anyway, so back to the point now. People died, and then, life lived. People said this happened, he said this happened, and then all of a sudden, 300 years later, they made a religion called Christianity, and that's what we have today. But here's the point. Remember at the beginning what I said with the story of Idris and the 5 people? Are we going to be like the people who were in the time of Noah, who worshipped those 5 people? When was what? No, none of those. But do you remember what those 5 people did? Sorry, remember what the worshippers of the 5 people did? They listened to their fathers, they seen what their fathers were doing, and they said, oh, look, he's doing that, I'll do that as well, without thinking. Are we going to do that with Christmas? No, we're not going to do that with Christmas. We are going to do what who says? Allah says. Okay? Which means we're going to learn from Allah, we're going to listen to Allah. We're not going to be like the people of Noah when they took those 5 people as gods. Does that make sense? Charlie, does that make sense? What's your name, sir? Muhammad. Ahmed. Oh, I couldn't guess that. Anyway, so okay, so we are not going to be like those people. Instead, we're going to listen to what Allah says. That's what people do nowadays. They see what other people do and they do it as well. We're not going to do that. So, instead, we're going to do what Allah says. But don't forget, we're living, like you said, the whole point of this is because people are going to go to school. We're all in school here. Yes?
Was there school in the order?
Yeah, we're not like school today. Yes?
In my school, all of the juniors, year 3, 4, 5, and 6, are doing previous plays, but they're not actually about Christmas, they're just fun.
I'm going to see what now. Okay, question at the end, yeah? Remember. Sorry, question at the end. But anyway, back to the point of, so how do we live in schools when this is going on? What do we do? How do we act? First of all, we have to know that in this country, in this time, everyone has their own opinion and their own life. We have our thing, but it doesn't mean we change what we believe. We don't change what we believe. The first thing is, we have to stick to our beliefs. 2 thing is, other people, if they want to say their beliefs, they can. If other people want to believe, I have any questions. So if other people want to believe in last thing, let them believe in that thing. If other people want to do this, let them do this. If they start talking about Jesus in school, know that this is not the Muslim position. This is not what we believe. This is not what the Muslims believe. It's what the Christians believe. Does that make sense?
There are different types.
Different types of what?
A different type of religion.
Yes.
Like Muslim and Christian are different religions.
Yes, different religions.
And that's not true.
Yes, and Judaism. But here's the point. If people are going to be in schools and they're going to do Christmas plays, if they're doing a Christmas play, we have to act as Jesus, have to act as this. What do we do?
Just like don't care about it.
Okay, what else do we do? Are we all listening, by the way?
Reject the offer.
Yeah, you can reject. What does that mean, reject the offer? Say no to the party. Say, I can't do this, whatever. But, yeah, which one else good?
They were just a toy baby.
Sorry?
In my play, they were just a baby toy.
Even if it's a baby toy, don't do it. Okay? Now, people are going to say, this or that, but don't forget, you're going to stay to your religion. You're going to stay to what you were given. Because remember what I said at the beginning? I said about the book. I said, if there was a book that was so great, so amazing, it's got the answers to everything, it's our guidance, it's how we live life, what are we going to do? Buy it. What else are we going to do? We're going to follow it. And we have that book. What's that book called? The Quran. Very good. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, anyway, so we stick to our morals. We don't change, question at the end. We don't change what we believe to make other people happy. Our Islam is the first one. And if they ask us to do a play, like we said before, reject the part. Say, no, I can't do this. But are we going to be rude about it? No. Does Islam teach us to be rude?
No.
What about to the Christians? Does Islam teach us to be rude to the Christians?
No.
No. Islam teaches us to be good to people. As long as they're not doing good to, as long as they're not trying to do bad things to you, be good to the people. Does that make sense? So if they say, can you do this? Say, no, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And if people say, Merry Christmas, do we respond with Merry Christmas?
No.
No. Even if people say Merry Christmas to you, don't say Merry Christmas back.
So, let's
Don't make it a big issue. Don't say, oh, I can't say that. Just say, oh, thank you. So if I say to you Merry Christmas, what are you going to say? Thank you. Don't say it back. Don't say Merry Christmas back. Say thank you. Have a smile. Be nice. But don't say it back. What is it? They don't think about that much. They'll only think that if they're trying to do it on purpose. That's me on purpose. But anyway, questions then. But anyway, so like I said, first thing is, if they say, can you draw Santa or can you colour in Santa, what are you going to say?
no.
What's the issue with drawing Santa? Nothing issue. If it's just colouring Santa, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're just colouring something, it's just putting colour on. Yeah, just colouring. Yeah, relaxed activity. If they say draw Santa, draw an Easter egg, draw this, draw that, or colour it in, is there an issue with it? No. It's just drawing. You can do it, yeah. There's no issues with that. But if they're going to have plays on, and they're going to talk to you about this and that, what are we going to do? No, thank you. Very good. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, that's good. And also, what we'll say is that during this time period, there's a lot of, music in the classrooms. Now, don't forget, music is not allowed. We're not allowed to listen to music in Islam. But we're going to tell the teacher. Tell me. Bismillah. Everything okay?
Children downstairs.
Children downstairs.
Yeah, children downstairs.
Can someone tell the children downstairs to stop this? This is going on. Oh, it's on now. On. Anyway. خلاص the mic's on now. Can we all turn back please? Can everyone turn back? Is that? Anyway, so we're not allowed to listen to music in Islam. But if the classrooms have Christmas music on, what are we going to say? Are we going to make a show of it? No, because this is not, it's a country that is run like this. This is how it's run. As long as we don't go out of our way to do it, that's okay. But if it's going to be in the classroom, it's going to be this, don't make a big issue of it. Does that make sense? Because it's not, you're not at fault, it's not your fault, it's their fault. It's their fault, yeah. Yeah, it's there. On the day of Allah, the sin on them, the sin's not on you. As long as you know deep down it's not right, it's okay. Does that make sense?
They think it could be nice.
They think it could be nice, but they're not right, unfortunately. And also, if there is someone in the class who's a Christian, who does believe in Jesus, are we going to be rude to him? No. Yeah?
Because there is a Christian in my class, and I don't even care, because he's my friend.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
sometimes you can be friends with Christians.
No, you can't be friends with Christians. Don't forget, this country is full of different types of people. It's full of people who don't have a religion, it's full of Christians, it's full of, you know what I'm saying? So, we can't just say, I'm not going to be friends with this person. We can everyone look at this? Don't worry what's happening at the back. What's happening at the back is separate. Your attention's here, the lecture's here, okay? The lesson's here. Don't worry what's going on in the back. So anyway, back to the point is, if these people are celebrating Christmas, what do we do? Let them do what they want. They'll live their life, we'll live our life. Does that make sense?
And different religion.
Look at our lives.
Their religion, we have the our religion.
Yes, they are very good at orange, that's right. But if they ask you, do you celebrate Christmas? Are you going to lie?
No.
No. Are we going to change our religion to make people happy?
No.
No, don't do that. So our religion, remember what I said in the Quran? The Quran is perfect. And what happens if you change something that's perfect?
It doesn't become perfect.
It doesn't become perfect anymore, it changes. Allah is perfect, Allah knows everything, and He put everything that we need to know in the book. We are not perfect. If we change that book, it's not perfect anymore. Does that make sense?
If we only put one word that is different, you just change it.
It changes, very good.
Some people want to change the Quran of what it says.
And they will never succeed. But what matters is us how we act upon the Quran. Whatever the Quran says, we do it. Does that make sense?
So technically, an example when you said perfect and non-perfect, let's say you smoothed it, then you tried to change the design, then not good, then it won't be good anymore.
Like
Yeah.
the cover of it. The cover.
Yeah, better.
Like if you're trying to recite Surah Fatiha and you just are being lazy and you feel like you'll recite it.
Yeah, better. Anyway. I've been speaking for an hour now, so it's going to be open not just for the children. Anyone else? Anyone has any questions on this topic? Feel free to ask. You at the back. The Quran, all the Quran says is that Jesus was not killed and that it was made to appear that Jesus died. All it says is that the people were made to think that Jesus died. Who had the question coming next? There's someone after you. Was it you? No, not you again. With the black clothes. Abdul, yeah. It wasn't you. What's your question?
Is it haram to receive?
No. It's not how to receive Christmas presents. It's actually opposite. The Prophet said that if you say no to a gift, so that if you give a gift back, it's the equivalent. I think equivalent to you eating something, and then it's like spitting out. So I thought it was. But if someone gives you a gift, take the gift. But give me an example of Christmas presents. Chocolates.
Someone gives you a Christmas card.
Shoes. If someone gives you shoes, it's okay. It's shoes, it's a present. And even if someone gives you a present that's haram, don't say no to the person because it's not nice. It doesn't make the person feel nice. So to answer your question, if somebody gives you a present, take the present, say thank you, be nice. Because if somebody went out of their way to buy you something and you said no to them or you threw it in the bin, how is that person going to feel?
Sad. They wasted money.
Yeah, they wasted their money, they wasted their time. And yeah, what else?
What if you like find out more? Because they bought you.
Depends on what you buy them.
If you buy like the same thing they bought you.
Okay, well, it depends on what they bought you. If they get you chocolate and you get them chocolate, that's okay. If they buy you a gun and you buy a gun, it's an issue.
Oh
Does that make sense?
Wow.
You could.
Okay, what's the issue? What's the question? Excuse me, can you listen please?
If your Christmas day is like some sort of random music, in my school, in my class, we're doing the Lion King. So, are you allowed to do it?
Yes, you are allowed to do that. Because it's nothing to do with the actual Christmas tradition. If it's about Lion King, fine, 100%. Do Simba, don't, hold up the monkey and say, I gave that around. Do that, yeah. That's okay. Any other questions?
So if you get a Christmas card.
Sorry, keep this on the first. What is it?
In Surah Nuh, does it say about the 5 gods and
Yes.
people?
وقالوا لا تذرن آلهتكم ولا تذرن ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ويعوق ونسرا. Yes, those 5 people, because that's where the knowledge comes from. Those 5 people in Surah Nuh verse, they were the 5 people during the time of Idris. Sorry?
I'm on that surah.
Inshallah, very good. It's a very beautiful surah with very good lessons. Who's spoken about? You.
What if you get a Christmas card? Yeah, you can just accept it.
If you get a Christmas card, don't say thank you and take it, but don't throw it in the bin. It's not nice.
Oh my god.
When you get home, do what you want to it. In front of the person, don't throw it in the bin. It's not nice. Because imagine if you got someone a gift. Because if someone gets you a gift out of the goodness of their heart and you throw it in the bin, is it nice?
No.
It's not nice. So don't throw it. Don't throw the card in the bin. Don't throw the present in the bin. Say thank you, take it. When you get home, do whatever you want to it. Make a bigger airplane. Very good idea.
We're not like rich.
Yeah?
Are you allowed to keep the Christmas card?
If you want, yeah.
Do whatever you want to it.
Do whatever you want to it.
You can put it in a shredder.
Like put it in the shredder.
If you want to put it in a shredder, do it, but that's not very nice, is it?
What is a shredder?
It's like
Something that looks bigger.
it's a sheet and thing rather by me.
Want to make
Yeah.
copies of it?
And, what's your question?
I want a bunch of copies of it.
Sorry, can everyone be quiet, please? Just stop asking the questions. Remember, we have to respect our friends or brothers. He's a brother, his own brother. Ask me a question. What's your question?
What if he got like a lot of cards? Like from
You got a lot of cards. You're a lucky person, but I don't get any cards.
I get the cards.
Very lucky.
I got one. I only got.
If you get loads of, okay. Here's good. If you get a Christmas card, no matter how many Christmas cards you get, if you get 1, 2, 30, 50,
Quadrillion.
quadrillion, whatever, if you get them, don't throw it in the bin in front of them, just take it. Because it's not, like I said, it's not nice. Even,
What if you were in front of him and you did put it in, and they didn't know put it in the freezer?
even if they don't know about it, someone might tell them. So don't do it.
Like if you go to some same school, like if someone, like you have a sister and they go to the same school and your sister found that they put in the bin, she's just gonna go and tell the person.
Yeah, that's what people are like, unfortunately. So don't do it in school, do it when you get home. What's your question?
What if you burn the present in your microwave?
Okay. If you get a present, please don't put it in the microwave. It's not really fair. Does everyone, do you have a cousin in Liverpool? In Wrexham? Do you have a cousin in Wrexham? A family in Wrexham? Yeah. So if you put a present in the microwave, you'll end up living in their house. Yeah. So don't put a present in the microwave.
You don't even know what's inside it. Like what if someone done it, someone in a shredder,
And then it won't burn in fire.
just in case
Okay, so what's your question?
Like, what if somebody gave you a present and you didn't know what was inside it, and then you were listening, and then you just like put it on fire or put it in something that's hot.
That's not very nice. If someone gives you a present, nothing wrong with taking the presents. I said that before. Nothing wrong with taking a present, nothing wrong with taking a card. When you get home, do whatever you want with the presents. If you want to keep it, keep it. If you want to throw it away. Do whatever you want. But with the presents, why don't you open the present, find out what's inside first?
Yeah.
Because what if it's nice chocolate?
And then you eat it.
Eat it, yes. There's nothing wrong with it. What's the question? Excuse me, can you listen please? Excuse me. Can you listen? Can someone ask me a question? Yahi's brother. I can tell he's at the same face. Okay, right, so can you listen please? What's your question? If somebody gave you a bomb,
It's getting ridiculous.
And they didn't know.
if somebody gave you a bath, then if somebody gave you a bath bomb, use the bath bomb, why not? Use it.
Just snap it.
I don't know how to use that. Okay, can you talk about that please? Next question. Excuse me. Can I listen to the question? What's your question?
I've got something.
Okay, go ahead.
I've got 21 cousins that I know about. Cousins!
You've got 21 cousins?
I've got 21 cousins that I know about. And no, what if you get a million fireworks and must go into a board with a little spring, but inside the board is a present. And then what you do is you put a bit of water in a bath bomb onto the firework thing. And then loads of bath bombs and loads of bath bombs.
Okay, festival.
And then you light the fireworks.
Okay, first of all, buy a million fireworks, then ask me the question, okay? Do the first step, buy a million fireworks, and I'll answer the question, okay?
No, I'm so setting something on fire or putting it in microwave gonna help you in your life. But if you get
Okay, if somebody gives you a present, don't put it in the microwave, it's not very clever. If somebody gives you a present, take your present, it's a nice present. If it's food. Okay, if it's food, put it in the microwave, yeah. Okay?
The girl in the pink. The girl in the pink shirt. He's been that one.
What's your question? If you meant to put it in the microwave, put it in the microwave. Then take it, bring it home and then do something else with it. But don't throw away from the present. If someone gives you, excuse me. This is a good question, everyone. This is a very good question. If somebody gave you a present, a Christmas present, and it has gelatin inside, don't throw it away in front of the person.
Throw it away at home.
At home, throw away.
Or give it to your neighbours.
As a gift to your name.
Ideally, take it home. Because if you give it to your friend, and the person who gives you the present finds out that you gave it to your friend, it's not very nice.
Give it to your neighbour.
Give it, yeah.
But what if they live right next to you?
Do your friend that's good next to you?
Yes, I've got quite a lot.
Oh, fair enough. Then just do what you want at home. What's your question? Excuse me. Can you please?
What if you told someone they don't have a Bible, then they thought that, why do I give him a Bible as a Christmas present, and they were a Muslim?
If somebody gives you a Bible as a present, take it home. I'm not telling you to read it, but don't throw it away from the present. Because imagine if you give someone a Quran and they put it in the bin for you. Yeah. So imagine, that's how we'd feel if you threw it away. If somebody gives you a Bible as a present, take the Bible home.
Or you could just compare it.
If you want, yeah. If you want to give you a Bible as a present, take the Bible home.
And then you can compare it with other books.
If you want to, maybe a little bit.
What if you just like rip all the pages out and just make paper characters, just throw them out?
Okay, how would you feel if you gave the Quran to someone and you ripped the pages out and did what you said, throw it in the Are you gonna feel nice?
No.
You're not like it. So who here? Okay, ask all the kids a question. Would you feel happy if somebody got the Quran, ripped the pages out and started doing that for you? So don't do it to their book. If you don't like someone you do your book, don't do their book. Don't do it to them.
But what will you do with it?
Take it home.
And just make it your Muslim, and then you know.
Do whatever you want to. But don't damage it.
There's a question at the back. From the back.
You have a question? Shh. Can everyone be quiet, please? If somebody gave you a Christmas present and you want to give it back? Sorry?
That's exactly what.
What's going on?
Give you present. So are you allowed to give it back, like give them another present?
Do you give them the same presents or different presents? Different presents, yeah.
Buy them present.
Yeah, you're allowed to. It's actually good to give three presents as well.
And the
On
same.
my birthday,
One of the things, by the way, one of the things that Allah said to Bani Israel in the Quran is to say good words to people. Allah says, when أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل, we had everyone please. Allah says we made a deal with the children of Israel. وإذا أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله don't worship Allah وبالوالدين إحسانا and to the parents do good, the القربى واليتامى والمساكين and to the orphan and the poor person. And do good to them. وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا and say good words to people. So by giving people presents, even if they don't believe, can everyone listen please? So, like you said, by giving people presents, you're spreading a good thing. That's what Allah told the people, the children of Israel to do. That's what Allah told them to do. They didn't do it.
What if you're a Muslim and you celebrate Christmas?
what? If you're Muslim, you don't celebrate Christmas.
That doesn't sound right, but it's heavy.
Ask a question.
Like Muhammad Salah, he celebrates Christmas.
Okay, we don't want to name people. But this is a good question. If somebody, the question was, what if somebody is Muslim and they celebrate Christmas? What do you do about it?
I feel like nothing. Like your mom.
First of all, you have to know that person is free to do what they want. On the day of judgment, they're going to be asked about them. You're not going to be asked about them. First thing. Second thing is, if he's a Muslim, he's a good Muslim. If he's a good Muslim, you should advise your Muslim brother. And how do you, or sister? Sorry, can I ask you this question? Yeah. So you should advise the person. And how do we advise someone in the Quran? Allah says in the Quran, does everyone know who Prophet Musa is?
Yeah, he's an Egyptian.
Yeah, he's an Egyptian. So when Allah said to Musa to go to To Fir'aun. Does everyone know who Fir'aun is?
Yes.
One, no.
Fir'aun was a person that Allah sent Musa to talk to Fir'aun, because Fir'aun wasn't a good person. So Allah said to, okay, let me finish this first. Can the person who asked the question listen to the answer? Please.
Listen to the answer.
Thank you. So, the second thing we do is we advise them, because when Allah sent Musa to Fir'aun, Allah said to Musa, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ أَوْ يَخْشَى. Meaning what? Say to him, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا, a good word, kind word, speak to him gently, so that he can remember and he can be reminded. Why? Because for people who are doing something wrong, people who celebrate Christmas, Muslims who celebrate Christmas, they're doing something wrong. And to tell them that they're doing something wrong, it's hard for that person to accept it. Because it's very difficult for a person to be told that they're doing something wrong. So whenever you're advising someone, say to them in a nice way. Because it's hard for them to accept it anyway. Are you saying it in a bad way? Are you mocking them? Are you doing it in a bad way? It's going to make it even harder for them to accept it. It's hard anyway to accept advice. Are you saying it in a bad way? It's going to make it harder. Remember? That's what Allah told Musa. Allah said to Musa, tell Fir'aun in a good way. Use good words. Say to him in a gentle, nice way. Because otherwise, it's hard for him anyway. Don't make things harder. What's the next question?
Okay, what if like the person was like a really good Muslim and he still celebrates or she celebrates Christmas?
Same thing. Why is that? Same thing. Why? Tell them about the truth of Christmas. Tell them that Christmas is not from Islam. It's copying what other people do, and we don't do that. We have to do what Allah tells us to do. And tell them. Do you remember the story I told you at the beginning of Idris, those 5 people? How slowly Allah changed the story. How slowly Allah changed. How the shaitan caused them to change their belief system. Does that make sense? So tell them what I told you basically today. Yes.
In Surah Taha, does it say the story of Moses?
Yeah, it's in all the surahs, but that verse I mentioned after so far. What's your question? Yeah, if you want. There's water there. And what's your question?
What if somebody just celebrates a region all the way on the other side of the world?
If you want to ask what? If you want presents, then you don't do what I said with your presents. That's not how we get presents. How do you get Eid, yeah. We have our Eid, they have their Christmas. They have this. By the way, where was Santa Claus born? North Pole. Santa's very good. Santa was not born anywhere because Santa's not real.
Next question. What if you're already in the play?
Excuse me. Can all the kids here? Can all the kids here listen because I'll ask a question? Yes?
What if you're already in the play and you already have a role in the play, and your teacher doesn't allow you to forfeit because you already have a role and you have the class already practiced? So what do you do?
Tell your parents. If you're already in the play and your teacher does not let you leave, that shouldn't happen anyway. Your teacher should let you leave if you say, can't leave. So if you're not letting you leave, tell your parents are going to sleep in school. That's what it should be.
What exactly did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said because his question was, what if you're already in... Excuse me. The question was, what if you're already in the play and you can't leave? The answer is, if the school's not letting you leave, tell your parents to speak to the school.
Because they should.
They should let you leave. They should. Yes, they can.
It's just free.
If you don't want to
Free in
know.
the box.
Oh, wow. Okay, you finish.
Because in some schools, like Catholics and whatever, sometimes you're forced to like not pray or whatever.
No, you shouldn't be forced to pray. Because I know how Catholic school was. I went to, not me, but my older brothers went to a Catholic primary school. So they in assembly, sometimes the prayers, you don't put what's in the prayers, just sit there somewhere. Whatever.
What if a teacher like tells you to do it?
They don't. And if they do, say no. And if they make issues with it, get your parents involved. The school will not force you to pray, will not force you to do this. This is not Tudor times. They're not going to force you to go to church.
Okay. Not gonna try and go with you.
Sorry?
Not gonna try and go with you.
Yeah. You with the pink shirt. Well, if he's not listening to Allah on purpose, on the day of judgment, Allah's going to ask him. And he's going to have to reply. So you don't worry about him. If he's done, the Quran says, مَا عَلَى الرَّسُولِ إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ. Which means there's nothing upon the person who's given the message except to give the message. Your job is not to force them, your job is not to do this. Your job for that Muslim person is only to tell them what's right and what's wrong. If they don't accept it, Allah's going to ask them on Qiyamah, and they're going to be in trouble. You're not in trouble. You, what question? I can't hear you.
What happens if you're a vegetarian? You like halal or whatever?
If you're a vegetarian and you eat gelatin,
No, like a vegetarian. She meant like if you're like a Muslim and you eat gelatin
on purpose or by accident?
on purpose. Oh.
If you eat gelatin on purpose, then, like I said before, and then the sin's on you, you get a sin. That makes sense. An accident is no sin. You with the green hijab,
Is it haram to celebrate New Year?
is it haram to celebrate New Year's?
No.
What does celebrate New Year's mean?
No.
What do you mean by celebrate New Year's?
Like when it's going to when it's 2022,
It's like when the clock hits 12, it's a new year.
But what does celebrating mean? What do you do by celebrating New Year's?
Through the sun.
To be honest, personally, I've never celebrated New Year's, but I can't tell you whether that's the Sheikh as well. Sheikh Muhammad, is it haram to celebrate New Year's? Is it haram to celebrate New Year's?
New Year.
New Year.
It's only time, no problem.
That's your response.
I knew it was fun.
Only year one and year coming time.
Only a year, darling. The Sheikh said.
It's only that.
Yeah. The Sheikh said, that's the Sheikh. He said it's not religious or something. Okay.
After I would have Happy New Year.
Sorry?
When you say Happy New Year, no problem. Because we say to the Chinese Happy New Year, your monkey, year, your elephant, whatever. It's only a time change. That's it.
So to answer your question, Beth, to answer your question, yeah, you said it. It's not true. Okay.
1 hour.
Okay, so does everyone have any questions?
Then listen to the question. Listen to the question.
Can I also stop off me, Mr. Ahmed? Ahmed.
When someone asks a question, repeat the question. So you can listen.
Okay.
You.
Can everyone listen to the question, please?
Yes.
What's your name? Mario. Mario, what's your name? Sorry? Leo.
Leo.
Leo. Okay, Leo, can you just listen to this? What's your name? Abdul. Okay, can you listen to this?
There are two apples.
Two Abduls.
I see loads of Muslims celebrating Halloween.
Is Halloween haram? Yes.
Yes. These would be celebrated.
But we're gonna stick to as for now we're gonna stick to Christmas. That's our topic. Halloween is different day.
Because Halloween is on the 31st.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
I have one.
What's your question?
What if you get a bunch of Christmas cards and then you chuck it in the floor and then lawnmower it at him?
That's not very nice. What's your question?
Like why do we like get a like just kill something and when it's fun the world
Our questions, by the way, just so everyone knows, the questions are only about Christmas. When Eid comes, we'll speak about that. That is a separate discussion, the story behind that. But we're not speaking about Eid, we're speaking about Christmas. Question?
celebrating
Easter.
Like,
Yes.
oh,
But Easter is not. We're not speaking about Easter. We're speaking about Christmas. Any other questions? Okay. Since okay, what's the question?
why is it haram to celebrate Christmas?
Why is Haram celebrate Christmas? So what is Christmas? For what is Christmas?
24. What is it?
Okay, celebrating Christmas is haram because you are celebrating something that's haram. Why do the Christians celebrate it? Celebrate it because they want to celebrate the birth of their Jesus. Who is Jesus to them?
God.
God. Is Jesus God?
No.
No. Exactly.
Some people are saying Jesus is the
Son of God.
Yeah. Some people say he's the son of God, some people say he's the God. But the only opinion that matters is whose opinion? Allah and the Quran. It's the only thing that matters. If every single person in this world says that Jesus is God or Jesus is the Son of God, even if I'm telling you now, if I'm saying now Jesus is God or Jesus is the Son of God, it does not matter because what the Quran says is there. If the whole world says otherwise, it does not matter. If I said now Jesus is God, who's right? Me or the Quran? Quran. So I'll be wrong with that, right? So that's very important. Okay, are there any more questions? Okay, since there's no more questions, everyone has to tell me a part of the whole story of Jesus. From the beginning. Okay, start off from this way. We're going to go this way. Everyone's going to say the story in order. Can everyone, what's your name? Next to Ahmed. What's your name? What's his name? Faris. Nice. Okay, so then, Ahmed, Abdul, Tarjan, whatever it is. Sit there. In a line. So, everyone is going to say something from the story of Jesus, from the very, very, very beginning
To the very, very, very end.
to the very, very end.
When they asked him a question, he said he was a slave of Allah.
Yes, but we're talking from the beginning, the very, very, very beginning of the story. What did I say?
Jesus, he said he's a messenger for God.
From the very okay. Okay. You know what? I'll ask everyone a question from the story, start from the beginning, and everyone can have to answer, okay? Okay, so very beginning. Who was Jesus sent to?
Jesus was sent to heaven.
No, who is the people?
Oh, Ben Israel.
Very slightly, very good. What was Jesus' granddad called?
Amran.
Imran, yes, very good. Not Sheikh Imran. Okay. Next bit. What was Jesus' what was what was Jesus' name called? Maryam. Okay, so when did Imran die? Leo. When did Imran die? Okay. Can someone ask that question? Yeah. Since you're next, when did Imran die? Did he die while Maryam was alive or before Maryam was alive? Do you know what I'm saying or not? Yeah. Do you know or not? If you don't know, it's okay. Ask the friend. Okay, what's your answer? Imran got killed. Who got killed? Not Imran, who was? Zachariah, very good. What was Zachariah's son called? No, wait, you know.
Question here.
Yeah? Nativity. I told you all this of the nativity. You know, obviously what you learn in school, or where you're in major, whatnot, that song and that story and all that. That is when the three kings came and all, the story. What I told you basically today, the beginning, the story of Jesus, that is Islamic version of what happened, based on the Quran. Remember what I said before? If I say something, if I said that, مثلا, if I said that the Quran is a scroll, it's a book. If I say that,
Give us a question.
yeah, okay, I'll give you a question.
Are they allowed to participate in the nativity with the class?
We spoke about that.
Again,
Okay, so the play,
repeat
meaning,
my question.
okay, so the Sheikh asked, it was if there is a play of Jesus play or whatnot, how do, okay, who wants to answer the Sheikh's question? I forgot your name. Okay, tell the Sheikh, what do we do if there's a play, Christmas play in our school? Tell the Sheikh.
Come on, Adam. Raise your voice. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, if you answer the Sheikh's question, you go to the toilet.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Speak to the Sheikh.
There's no sound to it. It's turned off.
But leave why don't you say it?
Okay, can I ask the top please? Give me questions then.
I'll say it.
Adam, is that your name? Okay, Adam, answer the question and then you go to the toilet.
Let's say you don't want to go. Let's say you don't want to.
Because the Sheikh asked the question, you have to answer the question.
Let's say you don't want to the toilet.
Sorry?
Let's say you don't want the park.
Okay, yeah, no, he answered the question. What's your name?
Let's see.
Nazif. Okay, give the microphone to Nazif. Excuse me. Leo, Ahmed, Faris, give it to Nazif.
Just say you don't want the park.
Does that answer the question, Chef? Okay, give the question to the microphone to Chef, the answer.
Can I go to the toilet?
Don't go far, don't go far.
You can't.
Okay? Again?
It's funny, isn't it?
Just say you don't want.
Okay, Nazif said, tell the teacher that you don't want to do the part. And that you can't do the part.
Okay, she told you now, she told me that why we can go and participate because we cannot act
Like Jesus has a
Jesus, Father, and human. Is that right?
Okay, what was Jesus' father called? Nazif. What was Jesus' dad called? What was his name? Jesus' dad? Okay, was Jesus...
Didn't have a dad.
Yes, Jesus didn't have a dad. So his dad was not called Zachariah. Who was Zachariah's son? Nazif? Who was Zachariah's son? Okay, can you want to have Faris? Yusuf.
No.
Okay, can someone ask the question? What was Zachariah's son called?
No.
No. Zachariah's son? Yahya. Very good. Okay, more questions. How did Yahya and Zachariah die? How did they die? Why were they killed?
Because they told the people to stop.
Because they told the people to stop. Okay, that's good, yeah. And what do you mean because of the prophets? What do prophets do that Bani Israel did not like?
Tell them to do the wrong things and do the right things instead.
Yeah, that's correct. And we see this today as well. Today, when someone's doing something wrong and they get told to do something wrong, how do they react? They don't like it. They won't be happy. It's the same thing with Bani Israel. Whenever the prophets could come and tell them what they were doing was wrong, like banging on the carpet and trying to speak to you. You see what I mean? Kiss up on carpets. Thank you. Yes? Okay, I'll ask a different question now. Okay? What did Maryam do after she had the child?
She moved. She went to the people.
Before that,
She moved to the mountain.
moved where?
She moved to the desert.
Yeah.
She went to
did Maryam do after the child was born? The first thing she did.
Went to the mosque.
What's the opposite? Okay. What was the tree? What did she do?
Palm tree.
Palm tree. What did she do with the palm tree?
Shake it.
She shakes the palm tree. Very good. And what came out of the palm tree? Dates. Dates. Very good. Okay. Now, what did Maryam's mom do to Maryam when she was born?
She took her to the mosque.
No, the temple.
Yeah, to the temple. Mosque.
Same thing. Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. And why did she take her to there?
She did do like one.
When someone answers the question, can excuse me.
I didn't talk when you were talking.
Can you
Yasin, stop.
excuse me? What's your name?
Yasin.
Yasin. Okay. Can you, when someone's talking, what do you do?
Listen.
Listen. You don't hold people up.
She took the baby to the mosque and gave it to someone. She gave it to them. Because, you don't have to say it. It's because she gave it to someone. Like, she was
Because what did the mother of Maryam do when she was pregnant with Maryam?
like,
Okay. Yeah.
She said, how can I have a child when I'm not married?
She was right. Not.
That's what the angel.
No, not Maryam. The mother of Maryam. My question is, what did the mother of Maryam do when Maryam was born?
She took her to the temple and said that take care of it.
But why did she do that?
She didn't want to take care of it.
Not quite. She did it because because Imran and his wife, they wanted a child for a very long time, very long time. And did they have a child? No. Eventually they had a child. Yes, Close said that. But then, what did she make to them? What did she make to ask Allah? Leo, what was the dua?
That's Adam.
That's Adam.
That's Leo.
Oh, sorry. Are you brothers?
Yes.
Makes sense.
It's like
Yeah, you look like this. Okay, Adam, what did the mother of Maryam say in her dua, which is Allah? Yeah. She also said, she said, oh Allah, I want a child, and when the child comes, I will dedicate the child completely to you. So why was the mother of Maryam shocked when Maryam was a girl?
because at that time, girls couldn't do things.
Yeah. But men, they can lead armies, they can lead people, they can do this, they can lead the prayers. But
they could leave it present.
they can lead, yeah. A woman couldn't do that. That's one point. So, okay, what was the relationship? Okay, this is a hard question. Whoever answers this question, I'll be very, very impressed. I said it at the beginning, but I said it once. What was the relationship between Imran and Zakaria? Okay, I see the hand go first.
Amran, he had a wife, his wife had a sister, and his sister was married
To who? How do you
Zakaria.
Yes, that's right, yeah. That's correct. And Leo, not Leo. Leo, yes, Leo, what did he say? What did he say? Okay. Do you want to say it again so Leo can hear you? Say it again.
Amran had a wife, his wife had a sister, and his sister was married to Zakaria.
Leo, what did he say? Okay. That's because, how come you didn't hear? It was loud, I heard it.
It was fire.
He's going to say it again, okay? And I'm going to ask you. What was the relationship between Imran and Zakaria?
Amran had a wife.
Leo.
Amran had a wife. his wife had a sister, and his sister was married to Zachariah.
Leo, what was the relationship between Imran and Zakaria?
They got married, then they got. Then.
Who got married?
Mom.
Imran got married to. Okay, so Imran got married to a woman, yeah? Then what happened next?
Then.
Okay, but how was Imran related to Zakaria? How did he see family? He said it.
Someone said, like, someone had a sister.
Yeah, that's correct. So Imran's wife's sister was married to Zakaria.
So they're in the same family, yeah?
They're in the same family, yeah. Okay, I'll ask you another question. That was a hard question, so well done. Okay, this is another hard question.
Aww.
Whoever gets this, I'll be very surprised.
Can you make one at least a trick question?
You told me stop asking trick questions. Okay, ask me a question. Whoever gets this, we shall know very good. What did the question is, where did Maryam go? Leo, this is the question. Ahmed, this is the question as well. Where did Maryam go to have a child? You have to go first.
The mountain. Up in the mountain. Faraway mountain.
Where specifically?
Oh, in the West Mountains.
There's a verse in the Quran which says where she
The
was.
temple.
Not temple. She went to a safe place
A safe
in
mountain.
a hill,
Went to
away from everyone. Okay, here's another question. What did Jesus do when he was 12 years old? I think you have to go first.
They went in the chair. They went in the chair.
There was like a room filled with like very smart, well-educated people, and he was a part of it. He was just 12 years old.
Ahmed, what did you say?
I couldn't hear what he said because of it.
Okay, I'll tell you. So the question was, what did Jesus do when he was 12 years old? The answer is, he said, that when there was a festival, not a festival, when there was a big celebration, Maryam and Jesus. Sorry? Yeah, there was a lecture going on in that place. And in the lecture, what's it called? In the lecture, there was full of who? Who was the lecture? Who else? Very good, Nazif. Is that Nazif? Very good.
It's not people like doctors, scientists.
Like, yeah, loads of smart people. And what did Jesus do?
He's not supposed to be there because there was only for smart people.
Yeah, and he was there. And what did he do when he was there?
He started asking questions.
Yeah, and the questions were very hard. Does that make sense?
I did not hear singing.
Stop it, yes.
Okay, so, do you want to, Yasin, do you want to say something? Do you want to explain it to him again?
So basically, he was 12 years old, and there was a lecture like this, filled with knowledgeable people, and he was only 12 years old, so it was really surprising that 12-year-old came in a lecture filled with knowledgeable people.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, if there is... Okay, but does anyone have any more? Okay, this is a good question. The brother asked. Okay, he asked the question about an ayah of the Quran. The question was, okay, the kids will understand this, but the adults will, because this is a good question. The question was, why does Allah say to Maryam, Ya ukhta Harun, when she did not have a brother called Harun? This is a good question. There's a hadith which speaks about this. And it's that during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, there was some Christians, and they went to the Prophet, and then they said to the Prophet, the Quran's wrong, because it says, Ya ukhta Harun, we should not have a brother called Harun. The Prophet replied to this, and he said that when a person, like when there's loads of generations, they're usually called the ukht or the akh, depending on their gender. They're called brother or sister of a very important person in that generation. The important person was Harun. Brother Musa, they keep going down. They all called Ya Ukhta Harun as respect to him. Because of the fact that they say, you know, because of the fact that I said Ya Ukhta Harun and I can't have a look at myself and I can't look at that's because of the fact that they're trying to say that Harun, that your family's high. Family sense. Yeah. Is there any more questions? Any more questions, anyone? Yeah, I think now we're gonna end it, inshallah. Jazakallah khair to those who came. Hopefully you will listen, inshallah, and all this.
Carry on. It's good to carry on. Ask them.
She's getting
Ask them. Good to carry on or what?
okay, everyone. Excuse me, everyone. The kids and children, do you want to carry on?
No.
No?
No.
Listen. Sit down and do a vote. Yeah, sit down. Say, a vote.
Votes?
Who wants yes? Who wants doesn't want?
Okay, so carry on now. Okay, so put your hand up if you want to carry on. This.
Don't count. Just raise your hand. Don't raise Muhsin. Count.
What?
8-7.
Huh?
Shoot, bye.
8-7, so no wins.
Okay, so put your hand up if you want to carry on. Okay, put your hand up if you want to go.
One, two.
Okay, I think that was equal. So I'll ask again. Put your hand up if you want to stay. This, carry on. Carry on.
It's only 2, 3.
3.
Oh, wait. Before I mentioned Idris, right?
Yeah.
And I mentioned how how Shaitan tricked the people and how it ended up in the people of Nuh. Does anyone know that story of Nuh?
I know it. Is it the statue that God's like that? And then you had a big flood.
Okay. What's up with that? Can you understand?
Yasin, you know Surah Nuh? You know Surah Nuh? You know all?
I don't know, I just started it.
Read what you know. Read what you know.
I don't know it from my head because I just started it.
Even one verse. One verse.
Okay, listen. Okay, everyone.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب أليم.
So, who wants to remind me of what we said before about Idris?
He had 5 helpers.
5 helpers. What else?
He's a prophet.
Who said that? Okay, the prophet. Okay, anyway, so, do you remember what we said? So, who was the first prophet again? Adam. Don't forget, Idris, the one we saw before, he had it was even after a few generations. Okay, anyway, so can you give him a call back, please? Okay, Allah. So, Idris, to the people, can you listen, please? Can you listen? Abdul. Yeah, thank you. So, Idris, like I said at the beginning, he was a prophet, and he had 5 helpers with him. And then these 5 helpers, so Idris, he basically, he went on a journey to the heavens, and in this journey to the heavens, on the way there, he went on the journey to the heavens because he wanted to ask Allah for a favor. Okay? So when he met there, on the way to heaven, somebody met him. The person who met him, yes?
We call it heaven or the
It's the same thing, paradise and the same thing. So, paradise and the same thing. So, when Idris was going up, he met the angel of death. Depends who takes your life away.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, angel of death is an angel that takes your life. Everyone who dies, he meets. Yeah, a lot.
Like your spirit?
No, yeah, take your soul.
Is it like a devil?
Not always.
Is it close to like death?
No, it doesn't possess you, it just takes your soul away. Does that make sense? So, when Idris he was traveling with Jibreel, okay? Do you know who Jibreel is?
No.
Jibreel is an angel that speaks to the prophets. Because some angels have specific tasks. Jibreel's task, his job, was to speak to the prophets and to give them the news that Allah wants to give them. So, Idris and Jibreel, they were going up to Jannah, they were going up to ask Allah for something. On the way there, the angel of death came there. So Jibreel said to the angel, of death,
Ahmed, go. Water, people doesn't have water.
okay, so Jibreel said to the angel of death, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Does that make sense?
Sit down.
And then the angel of death said, I came here to take the life of Idris.
Why?
Because Allah said take the life of Idris there. So Allah took the life of Idris in that heaven. It was the third heaven, I think. So then here's the thing. Now that Idris is gone, remember the 5 people?
Yeah.
Well, Suwar, Ya'uq, and Nasr. The 5 people. Okay? So then later on, these 5 people go by themselves. The Prophet was not there anymore. The Prophet went. The Prophet left. Does that make sense? So, your question?
Can you see that? No.
I don't know.
Someone posted a video on YouTube that angel of death. Someone posted it on YouTube.
That happens to everyone. Anyone who dies was in a death of themselves, yeah. Was it?
This is random, but you know, is it like a demon or a devil?
No.
Then what is it?
Jim, the Arabic word, and how old are you? 12. You're 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making sense of this, okay? In the Arabic language, anything that starts with G.
Oh, please. Watch your hand. Watch your hand. Watch your hand.
Okay, anyway, answer the question.
Anybody in the back?
The question was, what is it? Anything in the Arabic language, anything that starts off with a G and a Nun, the 2 letters that make up the word jinn, anything that starts with that, it automatically means something that you can't see. That's what it means. For example, Jannah in Arabic, for example, it means garden, but it specifically means a garden with loads of trees. Because it's called a garden with loads of trees, because you can hide inside the garden and you can make yourself not seen. Another word, for example, the Arabic word for embryo is janeen. Jeen, noon, start off with that. And it's because you can't see an embryo. The Arabic word for shield is junnah, because you hide yourself behind the shield. Does that make sense? So in the Arabic language, anything that starts off with jeen and noon automatically means something you can't see. So your question was, what is a jinn? A jinn is a type of species that we can't see. No, not all the bad things. Some of them, there's the time the Prophet said he spent a night with the jinn to teach them their deen, to make them what's halal, what's haram, to teach them what's halal, what's haram. Does that make sense? Is a human a good thing or a bad thing? But there's some people who kill. What did you say, was that? Is human being a good thing or a bad thing? No, I'm asking you, is a human being a good thing or a bad thing? But there's some good people. The Prophet Muhammad was in the bathroom, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Noah, Idris, Jesus, they were in bathroom. Make sense? So, ask again, are human beings bad? Sometimes. Same thing with the jinn. Sometimes the jinn are bad, sometimes they're good. It's the same thing with human beings. Sometimes humans can be bad, humans can be good. Does that make sense? So jinns, from them there are demons, like you said. From them they are shayateen. Shaitan is a jinn. Not all jinns are shayateen. The Quran says, وأنه كان رجال من الإنس يعوذون برجال من الجن. And the Quran says رجال من الجن, meaning people, like men from the jinn. And it says men from human beings as well. Because men from the jinn and men from human beings are similar. The only difference is the fact that he's made of fire and he's made of clay. Does that make sense? Because they are very similar, in fact. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
No. Wasn't the question. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so back to the story that I was saying. Where did Idris die?
On the 5th heaven.
Third. He died there. And then, who was with the 5 helpers? No? No one. She can 5. Khalas. Everyone else is dead. Because Idris is dead. But what was the sin of the people of Idris? What did they do wrong?
They didn't listen to, they didn't believe Allah.
No, the people of Idris, all of them believed in Allah. Because don't forget, Idris came a
He was a prophet.
few generations, meaning he was the son of, I don't remember which number, but we know the number of Adam. So he came very after Adam. At this time, everyone believed in Allah. But people did bad things. Does that make sense? So, what was the job of Idris? People did bad things, but they all believed in Allah. So he just told them to go back to Allah. Does that make sense? So that was his job. And with his job, there were 5 people who were with him. These people, and I don't remember the story from before now.
What?
Do you remember the story from before now?
No.
The story I said before. The beginning.
Oh, yeah.
So what was the steps in which those 5 people became worshipped?
But they statues, paintings, then statues.
Very good. Paintings and such. I'll say it again for those who remember. At first, these 5 people, amazing people, very good people, don't understand this. The people who followed them, they said, how about we just draw a painting of these 5 people so that whenever we see the painting, we remember the lessons that they taught us.
Like, that's what Shaitan said.
That's what Shaitan told us before, yeah. That's what Shaitan told us.
Isa wrote the sections.
Who?
Isa.
Someone else. How many of the next?
Who's the next prophet after Adam?
It is.
Oh. Then,
Adam, Idris, then Noah.
I think Noah wrote
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, but sometime before I go to sleep, I watched the prophet.
Yeah, very good. Anyway, so back to the story. Are we listening to the story?
Or you going?
Okay, anyway, here's the thing. Idris, now, he's dead. And the 5 people who were with Idris, they have a job. And that is to teach the people how to be good. Huh? Who? The 5 people? At this point, they're dead, eventually they died. So they drew paintings of the 5 people and said, now whenever we see the paintings, we'll remember the lessons that they taught us. Okay? Yeah. But the 5 people, they weren't prophets. They were just the people. Idris got all these prophets.
That they could help. Did they decide?
Yeah, they decided to. They said, you know what, we're going to help these 5 people. And then what was the first step? Who remembers the first step?
For paint?
Painting. They said, we'll paint these paintings. And whenever we see the paintings, what are we going to do? We're going to remember the lessons they taught us. That's number 1. 2 things, their children came and they said, you know what, why don't every single time we see the paintings, we're not going to do anything bad, we're just going to, out of respect, we're going to put our heads down. Because they're better than us.
You should do that. Then they start worshiping them.
No, we should not draw Allah. We shouldn't do it to Allah, we shouldn't do it to anyone. If you want to remember Allah, this is the place to do it. You don't do it in paintings, don't do it in this. So this is what the people did.
Like the bows
Yeah. That's what they did to the pagans. They wanted, not because they wanted to worship the people, because they wanted to show respect. That was what they did. The next step that they did was what? They said, how about we mix that? The next generation said, sorry?
So don't first said the painting will soon go.
Yeah, and then their children said, let's make big statues. And then with these statues, we'll remember the lessons. And then a few generations later, they did not know why they built the statues. They said, we've seen our grandfather bow to the statues, respect the statues, so we'll do the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then they were worship. And then what did Noah do? Noah, at the time of Noah came when these 5 people were statues who were getting worshipped. He read, the brother, Yasin, he read the first verse of Surah Noah. Does that make sense? So, later on, Noah said to his people, does anyone know how long Noah called his people for? Weeks?
Years.
How many years?
5.
3 years?
5.
5 years? 1 year?
9.
9?
2.
2?
5.
5?
4.
4?
3.
Okay. Noah called his people not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, not for 50 years, not for 100 years, not for 500 years, for 950 years.
Oh my!
Yeah. How old are you? 7. Okay. That's like, I can't even explain it. That's a long time. I'm not even reading maths now.
Is that like my birthday? Yeah, I went to
Okay, anyway, so Noah called his people for how long?
950 years. 925.
Yeah.
950 years.
950 years. You said before, Yasin said it was a week. He said it was a year. Was it 2 years, right?
It was 907 days.
No, not days.
9 years. 907 years.
950 years.
No, it's in like 907. To equal 950 years age.
I don't know what you mean.
As in what?
Yeah, you go to it. Anyway, point is this. So, for 950 years, do you know how many people he brought into Islam? No, in 950 years. They say between 11 and 88.
What? You're making that up. What? No.
How many people did Noah bring to Islam in 950 years? Do you know how many? In 950 years, between 11 and 88. No, 11 people. This whole first, everyone who sat here before, only that much, in 950 years.
Only that much.
Yeah. But does that mean that Noah's bad? He's bad prophet? Does that mean he's bad as well? No. Because Allah does not care about the results. Even if he can, you know, there's going to be some prophets on the day of judgment with 0. Sorry, there's 0 followers.
What?
0 people who follow them. But there's still prophets, still better than us. Because Allah does not care about the results. He cares about how much you try. Does that make sense? Yeah, you go to it. Does that make sense? How many people did he bring in 950 years? 20. Between, they say
1188.
between that, yeah. That's what they said. And then eventually, Allah told him that no one else is going to believe. That's it now. You just do your job. Sorry, you've done your job, no one else is going to believe. Don't waste your time now. Khalas. No one's going to believe. And everyone who believed, between those numbers, they were all very poor people. That makes sense? Poor. Didn't have money.
Like not even 1 pence.
They had maybe 1 pence, but not a lot. They're all very poor people. But then what was the quality of the people who believed? Yes. And what else? Very arrogance. arrogant. They thought that they were better than everyone else. That's why they did not listen to Noah. They said, look who's following you. The poor people are following you. So the people who followed Noah are the people who listen, the people who followed Noah were who? The poor people. Does that make sense? So then eventually Allah said to him, no one's going to believe after these, so build an ark. Build an ark and put two animals from each one onto this ark, and then just do that. But then the people of Noah, they seen him building this ark, and they said to him, how are you building an ark in the middle of the desert? It's a desert, it's hot, there's no water, there's no sea, there's no nothing. Why are you building the desert for? Does that make sense?
Was it because the reason why he built the ark was
Yes, that's why, yeah, that's correct.
I wasn't sure because
So the first thing we learn, before the story of Noah even starts, we learn about those 5 people. From the ayah to Noah. قالوا لا تذرون آلهتكم ولا تذرون ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ويعوق ونسرا. These are the names of 5 people. Does that make sense? So the first thing we learn is what? You see, so what do we learn from that? 5 people?
I want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Why was Wrexham
Why was
chosen to be inside?
Wrexham chosen to be Wales?
No.
I'm asking you. Why was Wrexham chosen to be Wales?
Wait, what? What kind of question?
Like, why did they do it?
Because Allah wanted to be in best practice. That makes sense?
I have to get that.
It's true. The cat. Off. Off. What's your question? Okay. Anyway, back to the story we were saying. So, what's the first thing we learn, Yassi? Is that we don't look at something that we don't. I think there's nothing wrong with following our tradition, but we don't put our tradition above our religion. If there's something in our culture that's bad, we don't follow something that's bad. That's exactly what these people did. They said our culture is better than our religion, so we'll follow our religion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if your culture says smoke, and Allah says don't smoke, what do you think?
Don't smoke.
Don't smoke. Does that make sense?
so
Yes, smoke is haram.
what kind of
Like smoke.
Yeah.
Like those little things that just blow.
If you want, we can talk about smoking a different time, but
How was that about those
if those Muslims smoke, you know what I said before? If Allah says one thing, the people. Sorry?
loads of Muslims vape?
Yeah. Even if loads of Muslims do it. Do you know what I said before? I said the whole world says. Okay, don't tell the whole, but if loads of people do a bad thing, it does not mean that thing is right. It's still haram. If the whole world, if the whole world prays this way and the thing is that way, does that make it right? No. Does that make sense?
No.
If the whole world prays with that, if the whole world prays, instead of doing this, they do this. Does that mean you have to pray like this? No. Do you know what we said before? The same thing. Okay, the same thing with the 5 people of Noah. It's the same thing with 5 people. They were worshipped because of the fact that they followed what they see people doing. They follow this, oh, we'll do that. We'll see what they're doing. We'll see what that. We'll do that. Does that make sense? Sorry? Yeah, if you get that topic. Well, like, now it's like, what do you say?
What do you even want to do?
Okay. Later. If you ask a question, ask me. No. That makes sense? When you ask me, you're saying, say. Okay, back to the story.
Why do people copy each other when they don't even know if it's good or bad?
That's what human beings are like. That's what the shaitan does. This is what he did with the 5 people and the idols. And that's what he did with Christmas. That's what he did with Halloween. That's what he did with this. Why I brought that story up is because that's exactly what he did. Exactly what the shaitan did. Exactly what he will do. Does that make sense?
When he does, he will forever do it.
Yes. Because human beings are the same. Do you have a question? Okay, anyway, back to the talk. So, that's the first thing we learn. The second thing we learn is that Allah told Noah to build an ark. But the people were laughing at him. What do we learn from this? Yeah, that's a good thing. What else do we learn? So what else we learn? We learn that we follow Allah no matter what He says, even if people laugh at us. That's right what you said. That's right what you said. All lessons that we can learn. But another lesson we can learn is we do what Nuh did. Nuh is one of the best. Okay. How many people did Nuh bring to Islam?
11 to 18.
11 to 18.
Yes. But still, despite the fact that he brought in very little people for that long time, for 950 years, he's still one of the best. Why?
He could still do it.
He follows up on Allah.
Something else. Because it's not the result that matters, it's the effort.
No, it's how you try.
It's how you try, yeah. He tried his hardest, no one listened to him. It's not his fault. On the day of judgment, there will be people who have no. There will be some prophets, some messengers with 0 followers. Do you have a question? Say your question. Say the mic.
What if you don't know?
Learn.
Yeah. No.
You don't know how to pray then.
Oh,
The
you
Quran, the Prophet Muhammad said, does everyone know who the Prophet Muhammad is?
Yes. The last prophet in the world.
Yes, he said that studying, learning is compulsory, meaning you have to do it, and every single Muslim. Whether it's learning how to pray, or learning this, learning that, that's the best thing you have to do. Anyway, back to the story. So, why is Noah one of the best messengers, one of the best prophets, even though he didn't bring that into Islam? Yes, he.
Because he followed the words of Allah.
Yes, what else? Yes. Does he feel what?
When the people were up, okay, let's follow what Allah said.
Yeah. That's a good one as well. No matter where he is, he did it. Eventually, he put 2 of every single animal on this boat, on this big ark. And you know what Allah did? What was it? Ask the question. Johnny?
No.
Okay, I'll talk about it.
Why, like, the prophets, why were they, like, chosen?
Which
Were they
one?
just random people chosen?
Not always. For example,
Kind of what they
the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu he was sent, that person specifically was sent because of the fact that during the time of the Prophet sallallahu for example, I'll give you an example. People who were from Yemen at the time of the Prophet sallallahu people who were from Yemen who moved to Saudi Arabia, moved to that part, they weren't treated well. Because the only time people will listen to you, the only time people will take you seriously is if your family is high, your family is good. So why did Allah treat the Prophet sallallahu because his granddad, what was the granddad called? Do you know? نعم ما أعرف كيف family. Abdul Muttalib.
Oh, I know Abdul Muttalib.
Yeah. So Abdul Muttalib, he.
No.
Yeah, I mean he's his granddad. Are you friends? Okay, yeah, I'm not. Anyway, so so the Prophet was chosen, to answer your question, because first Abdul Muttalib, he had with the Arabs he had a very high status. Because of loads of things. One of the things is that the Zamzam well, you know Zamzam water? a few hundred years before Abdul Muttalib, the Zamzam water was locked. No one could get access to any Zamzam water. And then Abdul Muttalib, he had a dream, and in the dream, he found a well. And in the well, there was Zamzam water. So he, in real life, he went to the place where there was Zamzam water. Sorry, he went to the place in his dream, and he found Zamzam water there. And he brought Zamzam to the people. So that's one of the main reasons why Abdul Muttalib has a high status with the Arabs. On top of that, the Prophet's a few generations back, there was a relative called Bukinana. And this person who was with the Prophet, he was obviously a few generations before Abdul Muttalib. He made, the pouch with the arrows go with archery. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know an archery thing, Yeah, that. Like a bow and arrow. You know the pouch where the arrow goes?
Yes.
The Prophet's, not uncle, his great granddad made that.
Who?
The Prophet, his great granddad.
Really?
Which prophet?
Muhammad said to him. So what's my point? My point is, because you said why did Allah choose the Prophet Muhammad specifically? Because one, he came from a good family, and that's what the Arabs cared about. They wouldn't have listened to someone who didn't matter. And we know this because they killed Muslims who didn't have a good family. Does that make sense? Does that answer the question? He came from a good family, he had good morals, he was a good person, everyone knew him as trustworthy. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the other question?
Why is the centre of water so special?
Why is the other one so special?
Yeah, so special.
Do you know the story of Azana?
No.
Okay, do I have time to say it?
Next week.
Okay, next time, inshallah. But yeah,
Okay,
because,
next week.
huh?
Can you come next week? Say inshallah. Yeah. Then tell them Zamzam story. But let them now QA carry on.
Okay, so we'll get that, inshallah. To answer your original question, the Prophet's family was very good. He had Abdul Muttalib, Abu Kanana, many people in that family that made everyone know, oh, that's that family, that's a sick family. Look at this family, it's not an amazing family. Look what they did this, they did that. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, I'll carry on the story. So, with the ark, the boat, Allah sent down rain, loads of rain, until, which question?
In the mic.
Yeah. Do you want a question in the mic? Okay, talk in the mic. Do you want to make a voting? Tell us. Ask a question.
Who was the first prophet to ever exist?
Kind of. And then, do you know who the second one was?
No.
We spoke about him today.
Why do we have 5 birds?
Because Allah told us to.
Who's the second?
Idris. The one that we spoke about. Do you know what we spoke about today? The story of Idris?
Why did they not?
Noah was the first messenger. Not the first prophet. Okay, what's the difference between a messenger and a prophet? Does anyone know?
A prophet is like. A prophet's like.
No. Does anyone know? Yes, you know? Your hand's going up and it's coming down.
Is the messenger like he sends messages to God and
Not to God, from God.
oh okay.
Okay, so to answer the question, yes?
Is a prophet from God and a messenger telling them.
Okay, no worries. I'll tell you. A prophet, a messenger, is someone who Allah sends with a new message. Does that make sense?
Like an angel.
What do you mean, like an angel? Okay, I'll tell you. Musa alayhi salam, okay. Adam, everyone was Adam, right?
Yeah.
Did Adam come with a new message? Well, he didn't really come with a message, he just existed. He's the prophet. Idris, did Idris come with a new message? No, very good. So was Idris a messenger or a prophet?
Prophet.
Prophet. What about Noah?
Yeah, he was.
Messenger.
No, very good, very good. Noah is a messenger because he came with a new message. A message that the people who he was with did not hear before. Idris was not the same. Does that make sense? The people of Idris, they were doing bad things, but they were all worshipping Allah. They all knew Allah, and that's that. Noah not the same. What about Musa? Was Musa a prophet or messenger? Messenger. He came with a new message.
What message was
Yes, to Fir'aun. But does that make sense?
Why did nobody like Pharaoh?
Well, who said that one, Michael?
أهل مصر كلها تحب فرعون.
Hmm?
أهل مصر بيحبوا فرعون.
Because why? Okay. Not the people from Egypt, but like.
أهل مصر بيحبوا فرعون. إيجيبت تحب فرعون.
ما شاء الله.
Okay, what if they were Egyptian and they didn't like Pharaoh? What was the reason for it?
Okay, Fir'aun, to answer your question, Fir'aun telling people, I am your Lord, the Most High. He said, I am God. So, people do not like his message. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He's not God.
Was he the one that, like, God made him drown in water?
Yeah. Yeah, so was Jesus a messenger or a prophet? Messenger. What message did he bring? He brought Allah gave him the Injil. What's the Injil? In English? Gospel. So Allah gave them a book called the Gospel. This book was lost. We don't have this book anymore. It was the book that was given to Jesus. No, not the Bible. Sorry? Loads of people, wasn't one person.
When judgment day comes, will like everyone know other people exist after we die?
What do you mean?
Like, because like when it's judgment day, we all like die and we get judged and all that.
Yes.
After we die and we get judged, will other people exist after we exist? After we die?
Every single human being who existed before Judgment Day will exist after Judgment Day. Just whether you're in heaven or hell, that's it. Does that make sense? The last human being to be born, I know the tissue there first. No? Okay. Okay, anyway, so, okay, we're going to end in a bit because it's nearly Isha.
Yeah, let's stay till Isha. Let's stay till Isha. Let's stay till Isha.
Okay, anyway,
Let's stay till Isha.
okay, inshallah. Isha's not on the way. So do you have any other questions? Any questions? No?
Why are there prophets? Why are there?
Why are they prophets? Well,
And messengers.
and messengers, very good. So, Allah, with Adam alayhi salam, don't forget, Adam was on earth, right? And he taught his children and his wife the message of Islam.
When we go to Jannah, will we be able to see God?
Yes.
How?
Only Allah knows. Anyway, back to the first question. Why are there prophets? To answer this question, I need to go from the beginning. Allah sent Adam, and then with Adam, he taught his children. And don't forget, Shaitan, what does Shaitan do? He tries to corrupt people. He tries to make people bad. So that's what Shaitan did with the people. He made them bad, he made them feel jealous of each other, and then bad things happened. And then when the people started being bad, Allah sent prophets to tell the people how to act. Because the people weren't acting properly. And then eventually, the people, they made a new religion. And And then Allah sent a messenger to teach people the right religion. And then, so on and so forth, more, so every single time there was a new country, there's a new this, Allah sent a prophet, Allah sent a messenger, so that it can all be taught. Does that make sense?
How many prophets are?
Sorry?
How many prophets are?
Okay.
What was the first religion?
Islam.
What?
The Quran, what does Islam mean? Does you know what the word Islam actually means?
No.
Islam means to submission.
It's something.
Do you have a question? I'll ask a question. No, Mike.
How many prophets?
That's what I wanted to say.
That's about Okay, there is a hadith that says how many prophets there were. I don't remember exactly. I think it's over 100,000. I'm not exactly 100.
There's a prophet out there. That's Muhammad.
Okay, anyway, inshallah. Isha's in a few minutes. So I think we'll end it there, inshallah. Jazakallah khair for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.